Sorry, I thought I had time. Don't judge me. I thought I had time. Oh, I thought I had time. What is up, everybody? What is up? It is Tammy coming to you live after a crazy kind of day. I'm super excited to be here. I gotta grab one more thing because you know me. Um, can't ever have it all in my hands the right way. Can't ever have it all in my hands the right way. So as you jump on here tonight, please do me a favor and tell me hello and tell me where you're watching from. Let's go over here and ask you to do that, to tell me hello and tell me where you're watching from. What is up, Heather? What's going on, girlfriend? I'm so glad you guys are all joining me tonight. We want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Do me a favor as you jump on here for Magic Monday. We're going to have some giveaways tonight, and we're going to have a special guest at 9 o'clock. So she is eating right now, and my hair is a hot mess. I even went and kind of put it together, kind of did something with it, I think. Oh, I give up. I give up. I give up. It is one of those days. It has definitely been a Monday. What have I done, y'all? What in the entire world? It is so weird not seeing this as a mirror and to see it like face. What's going on, everybody? Y'all forgive me. I am a complete and total hot mess tonight, but that is completely okay. I do have a script. I promise you I do. I do have lots of things to do, and I'm so excited that you're all here tonight joining us. Like I said, I do have a special guest coming on at 9 o'clock to go over the Munchie of the Month. So if you have gotten the Munchie of the Month box, if you've gotten your Munchie of the Month box, drop it below me. Give me some thumbs up, some hearts, something. Let me know that you've gotten your Munchie box. To my knowledge, the only person who has not gotten their Munchie of the Month box is my kid. Here's his. He was going to come by and get it, and just his schedule didn't allow for it. So now I'm going to get it to him. So I have one to show. We're going to go over that in just a little bit. But we have a couple other things going on. So we have this new menu that I am working on coming out. And I am so excited that so many of you have offered to be product testers, right? So many of you have offered to be product testers. Let me explain that a little bit, okay? Now, I got to ask my husband. I'll let you know. Oh, okay. I forgot. Yeah, because yours went to Toledo. I'm so sorry. So the tester. So if you are someone who has been around from the beginning, right? Like I'm not talking about from the beginning of the Facebook group. But like you and I had a conversation that the Facebook group was coming because you have been someone who I have been an alpha tester or someone who has been in my market research for quite a while. For about 24 months now, we have been doing market research and product testers, right? Alpha testers, beta testers, all the things. If I know, like I'm going to call someone out, and if they're watching or not, but like Melanie Faircloth. Melanie Faircloth has been someone, she's grew up with my son. I knew she was 420 friendly. So when I started developing the elevated treats, I was like, hey, I know you like 420 stuff. I'm trying these things out. Would you like to try some stuff? She's like, sure, I'll try some stuff. So we 100% have got people who have been here who helped us to say, hey, I don't like this recipe. I like this recipe. Or, hey, the texture of these gummies were better than the texture of those gummies. Or I don't like that packaging. I need it to be more airtight, or whatever the case may be, right? And so through this time of trial and error, that's how any kind of good, business is launched, through trial and error. And if you're afraid to fail, then you're afraid to try. Because I'm telling you what, like if I was afraid to fail, y'all would not be getting Munchie of the Month boxes. Let me just tell you what, like I never in a million years thought back in 2020 when this whole thing kind of jumped off at me that this would evolve into what it has. But I'm so blessed and thankful that all the stars have aligned. As I'm wearing my star sweatshirt tonight, all my stars have aligned. So we have some new treats, because here's the thing, right? We call these elevated edibles for a reason. The reason we call them elevated edibles is, number one, we use elevated products, right? So, and it's also from scratch. Like, I sift everything and I make sure everything is done with love. And we're talking about the intentional cooking in a little bit, but it's elevated because we want you to be elevated, right? We want the ingredients and the taste to be elevated. Hey, Tanya, what's going on? I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to pop your little message up here. And I'm so glad, because I'm really working. There's going to be more details coming. I'm really, really, I believe that people eat with their eyes, right? People eat with their eyes. And so when you are sending something edible in the mail or edible to someone that's getting it, it's not like, I grew up as an entrepreneur, restaurateur, and it was always presentation of the plate. So for me, like, how the plate looked going to the table was very important. It was almost as important as how it tasted, right? As how it tasted. Now, to me, you eat with your eyes first and your mouth second. So I definitely want the taste to be, that's the lingering impression, right? So it's first impressions, and then like the impression that it leaves you with. So first impressions are, it's well packaged, it's well made, all of that. It's going to promote confidence in the product, and that's important to me, that you all have confidence in what you're getting from me, because it matters. Okay. So the new Faye, you're talking about elevated. We're also elevating our menu, right? We are elevating our menu. I am working with people who are sourcing out the highest quality extra virgin olive oil, who are searching out local beeswax and local honeys and local made cream for butter and all of the things, because we want to make sure that we are what you put in your body matters. And when I talk about plants over pills, and I talk about like cooking with intention and things like that, I'm not just talking about cannabis, right? I'm talking about vegetables and organic foods, and maybe not organic, right? I call it organic, I call it whole foods. The hoops you have to jump through to be fully organic. So I do as close to organic as possible as my goal. So with these newer dairy-free and gluten-free options, they are also for people who want a sativa, who want to be able to grab a Powerball or energy bite in the morning and go to the gym. And we still have that clientele too, right? The whole idea of like the stoner, right? The whole like cannabis user is like a lazy person who just eats junk food and sits on the couch and doesn't do anything and all of that, right? Yes, I'm so glad, right? That is not who we are as a community any longer, right? Cannabis is as mainstream as anything else. We are a vast majority of different people. Do we all love to like do like a struggle meal after a good buzz on a Friday night? Have we all done it? Have we made macaroni and cheese with some add-ins that we didn't know how it happened? 100%. I'm probably sure that everybody here, and I have some thumbs up or some hearts, if you do your very best to put clean food in your body, but you also are a stoner, and sometimes like peanut butter and jelly on 2 glazed donuts just sounds delicious, and you tear it up. Just me. Is it just me? Is it just me that's like had that, right? But for real, I mean, it's a very important that we also elevate our menu. Now, I believe that Rice Krispie treats are delicious and good for your soul, right? I believe that brownies are everything that they need to be. And if those are your treats, those are your treats. Because here's the thing. If you're eating a brownie or a cookie to sleep at night, good. That's what you like, right? That's what does it for you. It's a taste, it's a mouthfeel that you like. No one is judging you for loving. I am making them. I'm still making them. We're still going to make delicious Elvis cookies, but we're using good cacao, unsweetened cacao chocolates, and we're using all the things, elevated treats. And it's not like processed. It hasn't got a lot of processed and additives and stuff like that. It's all natural foods, and it's fine. Go for it. Take your cookies, your brownies, your suckers, whatever it may be, your gummies, all of those things. But if you are somebody who also wants to smatter in, or who wants to actually change the way that they eat, maybe, or they do have a special diet, but they have been like partaking, in the sweet treats, then it's also important to have an offering for everyone. Now, I said this yesterday on Sunday sermon, was not everything is for everyone, right? But you can't please all the people all the time. However, I do want to have options as a business owner. I do want to have options to be able to and offer those, not just for all of you, right? Not just for all of you, because I love you and I definitely want to make sure you all have those things, but I want to have those better options as well, right? And I do want to make sure that I am meeting the market demand. That's what market research is about, right? Trial and error. We learn, we grow, we change, we do things. So we are still going to be offering all of our sweet treats, all of our elevated treats. We're going to be doing some great Valentine's Day things that are going to be great for sexy singles or for couples, for whatever your mood strikes you. If you'd like to do something for your significant other, contact me. We could put together a special little box. But we are also going to be starting into this new organic treat menu with trail mixes and power bars and granola bars and all of those things as well. So if you are looking for something that is more in that realm, we've got it. And then you can smatter in all the other delicious sweet treats and all the things. And here's the thing. A lot of people want to come in, they're like, let me just try a cookie. Because number one, I trust a chocolate chip cookie. And then I can see what it does. And maybe you're newer into eating dairy-free or gluten-free. And you're like, I'm not sure that I'm going to like the taste of that. Plus the edible piece, right? So this is, we have something for everybody now. That's all we're trying to do, is we're trying to have a bigger variety of options. So for $25, you can product test that dairy-free and gluten-free menu. Now I'm going to show you all the pictures. I've got two options here with the carrot cakes, the carrot cake energy bars. And I'm gonna let y'all know, I'm going with the frosted option, like the things. That is this is the book that my some of my recipes are coming out of. And they have got these cake energy bites. They have these superfood truffle bites, which are all gluten-free and dairy-free. Those are coming as well. We have got roasted beet hummus. Girl, it's coming. I can actually even make a dosed chocolate hazelnut spread, so like a dosed Nutella. I am doing a dosed hot sauce. All those things are coming. It's an oatmeal carrot cake energy bar, and that's going to be one of the treats in the variety pack. None of this stuff is going to be available as its individual stuff yet because we've not perfected the recipe. Okay, we have not perfected the recipe. So what I'm doing is I am making a round of all of these different gluten-free and dairy-free power bites and energy bars, right? Yes, girl, I'm telling you, I'm getting there. And these are going to be a variety because I want to get feedback on them. So you're going to get them for this price because here's the thing. The ingredients that go into this, not only is it going to be elevated, right? It is also going to be the ingredients, the ingredient panel that goes into these things and the time to grate and do the carrots and all the stuff. These are going to be very elevated, right? They're going to be on point. So I don't have a price on them. I'm doing a $25 variety pack as a thing. Like, hey, it's basically covering all the stuff. I'm just going to give Tammy my card. No. And so then we can kind of like see what's going to stick, what's going to stay, and how we're going to move forward with that menu and how it's going to work. Like, is it going to be like donut holes? How are we going to do it, right? How are we going to do it? Oh, I see Carly just hopped in, so we're going to invite her in just a second, so I'll have to wait till 9. That's a good thing. So I just want to let y'all know that the elevated idea is to also elevate how we're eating, and I think this is the perfect time to bring Carly on, because what we are doing is this, right? We're talking about like the foods that are elevated, but what happens when you put better clean fuel in your body, right? You also elevate your vibration. And that's the idea of what these are supposed to do, right? They're just to help you elevate your vibrational frequency to then raise the vibration of the collective. That's kind of my idea with this. I'm with y'all. I love it. I love it. So Carly, can I get a thumbs up if you are ready to come in? All right, perfect. I'm going to add Carly in now. I'm going to introduce Carly. It's like the Sultan of Swing. That's like, she's my woo-woo guru, and she was someone who was responsible for some things in the Munchie of the Month box. So I'm going to bring her on. I'm going to let y'all say hi to her and let her say hi to y'all, and then we're going to go over the Munchie of the Month box. So without further ado, welcome, Miss Carly O'Connor. We got to get these big faces back to
thanks.
Faces. Let me take this background off so it's not eating us up from behind. And there we go. And I think everybody's covered up that way. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight. I really, really, really am so excited that you finally are here on Magic Monday.
Yay, it's Magic Monday.
Magic Monday. So I will pop up some of these comments. I don't know if you can see them all, but everybody's like, hey, Carly, what's going on, Carly?
Hey, guys. Some of you guys I know, some of you guys I don't.
Yeah, some of them you know, some of them you don't. They're all cool people. There are people. They're cool.
Right on. I figured, if you're here, you
Yeah.
probably have to be.
So, Carly, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your background, and then as I open up the Munchie of the Month box, you can kind of tell people who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So let's see. I probably should have prepared for this. So we're just
You're
gonna
okay.
yeah, it's like that's like the hardest thing for me to do is tell people who I am.
Let's do this. So, Carly is from.
Okay, I will. Okay, so I am from Virginia, but that's how Tammy and I know each other. I was born in Virginia, and I went to Longwood, and then I lived in Hampton Roads for like 15 years. Met my husband there, and now we're out in Lemoore, California, because he's active duty. So they ship us all around, which is why I have to be super discreet about my mass quantities of cannabis use. See me out in the street.
Space here. Nobody.
Yeah,
Go.
I smoke so much pot, and some of you guys like have known me for many, many years. You're like that. Yeah, that hasn't changed. But like I've been doing that since I was like 10. But something that I guess has changed is probably the course of my life over the last like 20 years, and over that last 20 years, 20 years. Yeah, I mean, it started when I was a teenager, and so I've been studying metaphysics for several years, and studying energy and attraction and religion and spirituality, and really kind of, going through a lot of personal life traumas that caused me to what we call turn the eyes upward, right? And go, God help me, right? And that kind of set me on this path to where I am now. And so one of the things that I do, and it's been cool, like Tammy and I have had the opportunity to become much closer through our primary businesses, which is Pure Romance. But then I've been doing this other stuff secretly for many, many years. And so I'm actually a Reiki master teacher, and I'm a level 4 esoteric healer and a sound healer. And I am psychic, which freaks me out to say.
I don't know. Was it psychic medium? You're like, I don't like to say that.
Well, I'm not going to say medium because I don't want to do that kind of work.
Yeah, I'm not going to call that energy in today.
No. And we do psychopomp work, which is super duper important. So, there's some shamanism built into that. There's some Wicca built into that. It's a lot of, I guess it's pretty unique to me, right? Like, it's unique to, I guess, all the things that have piqued my interest over the last several years. So I do card readings. I make Reiki infused, crystal infused oils, and some jewelry from time to time, and candles, and some shower steamers and bath salts and all that kind of fun stuff. So
what they don't know tonight is that I have worked out some things with Carly.
Yep.
So I'm going to give out a gift tonight. Is it a 15-minute or a 20-minute? What did we figure it was?
We're doing 15-minute.
So I am giving away tonight a 15-minute session with Carly. It can be 15 minutes of, is it Reiki healing? We're going to do, or maybe cards, or
the most bang for their buck. I mean, we could do card reading or Reiki, but I would say the most for healing work, like if you're like, oh, gotta know something. First of all, like usually you already know the answer, like, and you're just coming to me for confirmation. But we can do that, and we can do that in 15 minutes. I can do a good reading in 15 minutes. Otherwise, a Reiki attunement. So
I think an attunement would be a great thing to give away. That's what I'm gonna buy y'all. That's what I'm giving y'all anyhow. It's a Reiki attunement.
Yeah, I think
look, they are losing their minds. They are so excited to get this. And let me tell y'all, I come and I'm very transparent about it. I know that Carly has the utmost what's the word I'm looking for when you're like, you don't like client confidentiality. Like she don't tell anybody's business, but I want to let everybody know. I work with Carly. I see Carly bi-monthly. I mean, we've worked on, like, is it bi-weekly, bi-monthly?
No, twice a month. They both mean the same thing. She works with me twice a month.
I love that. That's what is amazing about our journeys. They belong totally to ourselves.
Yeah,
and you've got some other like healers in here. So some good people to connect with that are in here, that they're on board. They're loving this. I'm so excited that this is something that they're down for. So we're giving that away tonight. So make sure that you comment and that you interact. So if I told everybody that I think one person hasn't gotten their box yet. And so as you see, we have the Munchie of the Month box. So if you're watching and you have that, we're going to talk about this little piece of paper here, because Carly has agreed to be a contributor to the Munchie of the Month box to add a little magic into the boxes. So So I'm super excited for that. And you will be able to actually order add-ons from her store as well. If you would like to, when the website's up and running, I'm going to make sure it's cool with her. I'm sure it is. I'm going to add a link into her store as well so that you can go shop for any of your bath teas or your infused items, because you ask me all the time, all of y'all ask me that are watching this, where do you get your crystals from, or where do you get this from, or who tells you about that, or where did you get that book recommendation? And I can never get this right. The person that's sitting next to me is the person I get that stuff from. So I'm going to make sure that I can give you that link. So Carly's absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful for her and everything about learning. I love that. So of course you see some familiar faces in here.
Yeah, I worked with Sarah too. No, I work with Sarah, not to call you out or anything, but I figure if you're here and you're there, you probably wouldn't mind. And some
people are like, I'm so glad I'm joining tonight. They're so excited to try to win this.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let's talk about this, because one of the things that I am doing with Elevated Edibles, and Carly has kind of helped me to develop this brand even, and talking about the elevated menu offerings. When she commented today, like, I think you made it for me. I'm like, we kind of went over it together. But intentional cooking. So one of the things that I love being able to do is to be able to go into the kitchen and set an intention. Yeah. And you've helped me with that. And so I wanted to make sure that as you take these edibles and move forward, that you have some of the tools to make sure that they're getting the most bang for their buck. So I'm going to give you a chance to talk about this for a second. I'm going to look at these comments because they're cracking me up over here. They're so excited.
Okay. Yeah. And hey, and if you are the only dude, that's okay. We work on dudes too.
Yeah.
I've been working on my husband. I'd love to get stuff from Carly, be able to learn more from you both. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we actually are working on some stuff. Are we allowed to talk about that here?
We're going to. After we talk about this, we're going to talk about that. I'm so excited.
So let's talk about being mindful when you are cooking or doing chores or eating. In this case, in particular, eating edibles, right? So first off, mindfulness is a great way to practice being in the moment, which is really good if you have kind of racing thoughts. Like, every time somebody's like, I have a hard time sleeping and I have a hard time focusing and I have a hard time concentrating. Well, one thing that I can tell you is that the right combination of medicinals can be super helpful, right? But also practicing mindfulness on a regular basis can make a huge, huge difference in those racing thoughts, or in the case of what we're shooting for, the lack thereof, right? And I get people all the time, they're like, oh, I can't meditate. And I'm like, okay, well, first off, you got stinking thinking, and you're going to attract what you like put out there. But exactly. Second off, you don't have to start with okay, I'm going to sit here in lotus position for an hour and not think any thoughts, right? That's a huge jump from the busyness of daily life. So a good kind of stepping point into that is mindfulness and being intentional. So the idea behind the setting intentions with your edibles for the January munchie of the month was really to help you bring your awareness into the present moment and fully enjoy the complete experience of the edibles, right? Because, and I'm sure Tammy's talked about this before, we eat with our eyes, we eat with our nose, we eat with our, I don't know if we eat with our ears.
We just talked about, I just said that last 10 minutes where you came on about why the packaging was so important, because you see it first.
Yeah, it's a full sensory.
It starts the process. It's a sensory, just kind of like our primary businesses. It's a full sensory experience. So It's important to have the mind and body in attunement and in alignment.
Yeah, totally. And so making the space to set the intentions and putting that mindfulness into the food also creates magic in what you're eating, right? So, and it's kind of like, when I'm doing the dishes, I'm, being intentional about doing the dishes. Number one, because it's like my least favorite thing to do, and I'm working to find enjoyment in it. And number two, having that mindful presence is a meditative act. So even if I don't get my meditation in for the day, if I'm making sure that I'm being mindful of the task at hand when I'm doing the task at hand, that is a form of meditation. And that is a good that's a good gateway drug, right?
Exactly. I love that. I love that analogy.
It's a good gateway. So by the way, marijuana is not a gateway drug. And I know you guys all know that, but I just felt like I needed to say that.
What going to come back to that because I have a funny story about that in just a second when you get done with what you're saying.
So the idea behind setting intentions for your food, and I know Tammy's talked about how she does this when she's making things up, and I do that too, right? And I always do Reiki. I Reiki infuse all of the food that I eat, everything that I drink, everything that I feed to the dogs, every person I touch. Like it's very intentional. And so what you're doing with that is you're creating, right? Like we are all creators of our universe, right? And when we pay attention to bringing in the energy of what we're wanting into what we're, in this case, eating, then it brings that creative magic energy into the food, right? Mm-hmm. So I hope that you guys really enjoy this. I hope that you have fun with this. But I think that these setting intentions, these are good kind of steps in general for any intentions, right? So like if you've got, say, for example, a chore that you need to do and you're not feeling super into it, then try out these steps, right? Center yourself, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, right? Be sure to breathe from your diaphragm. So let me explain that a little bit because people don't understand that, I think. So when you're breathing from your diaphragm, it's not cute. Okay. Like I know a lot of people, especially women, have a tendency to try and suck in the gut, but I want you to let it out. I want you to let all of your glory hang out, and it is what it is, right? And if you don't love it, then well, it's something you can work on. But
then you order from the new lighter frame menu.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Order from that menu. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, Tammy, you got to make me something that I can eat, man. So when you're breathing from the diaphragm, you want to focus on, instead of your chest rising, like a lot of times we'll like rise our chest when we're breathing, you want your belly to go out, right? And so what you're doing is you're fully and completely filling the lungs. And if you're not super sure that you're doing it right, start doing it laying down, right? Because that's a super easy way to tell, am I doing it right? Are my shoulders going like this? If so, I'm doing it wrong. Is my belly going out? Great, then I'm doing it right. So your belly should go out on the inhale and in on the outhale, kind of pushing that breath. And if you were in band as a kid, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you sang as a kid, like you were in chorus or whatever, I was a band geek. I was in marching band, so I know all about it, right? But the reason why we want to do that is because filling that lower portion of your lungs that most of us ignores, number one, it makes it easier when you're smoking. But number two, it really, for health benefits, it engages the parasympathetic nervous system, right? So what that means is it reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and increases things like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. And so, especially if you're having a stressful day, that's why if you're like freaking out about something, having anxiety, or you're having a super stressful day, that's why people tell you to breathe, right? Because doing that actually engages the parasympathetic nervous system and literally calms your body down. So that's part of the reason why we want to get you to that, into that breathing, because that's going to help calm your body down so that you can focus on those intentions that you're setting. Now, as I like to do this, I just kind of exhale and relax into my chair. So drop the shoulders. You're going to relax the neck. You're going to relax the jaw. You're going to relax into your chair. You're going to feel yourself melt like butter.
We are way too happy to be talking like this. We'll all be asleep. It's good. It's amazing because I need that, right? That's the idea of it, to do that melting. But man, I'll tell you what, I need you to record that because that felt, I was like, ooh, I'm just getting so comfortable.
Yeah, I got a new a new microphone for Christmas. So once I kind of get into the swing of things, I have a ton of meditations that I need to record.
Talk more dirty to me. Come on.
Yeah.
What else are we doing?
Coconut oil. So once you're kind of in this centered, calm place, if you're, a lot of times we already know like what category or what idea, where, like what direction we're headed with the intention. But if not, that's okay. Allow yourself space to just kind of relax. And one of the things that I always recommend is writing and relaxing your brain and writing things out without putting your brain into it, right? So just allowing whatever comes out to come out, not editing, not reading, not thinking about it, just writing. Because a lot of times that automatic writing will help reveal the things that are in the subconscious trying to come out. And that's really like when you're having all those like rushing thoughts all the time that people have, it's usually because you're not taking time to pause and listen to that quiet side of yourself. Oh, that's nice. Your voice can put us all to sleep.
Not about sleep. It's about like, 'cause with us, that's what it is. Oh, this time of night, a lot of people need that woosah.
Yeah.
And that deep breathing is good for exactly what you're talking about, right? Laying down at night. Great time to try it before sleep.
Yeah, totally. So when you're doing it with your edibles, so once you've got your intention, right, you can put your edible onto the intention or onto the sheet of paper and write down what your intention is, right? Yeah, we left space on there for it. I figured it would probably fit there, right?
Yep.
So you write out your intention of, and here's the thing with writing those, you always want to make sure that it's in present tense. I am now this awesome version of myself, or I am now presenting my favorite version of myself. I am now easily and effortlessly able to eat only foods that nourish my body. I am now enjoying exercise. I love to exercise. That's mine that I'm working on. And but when you write down your intention, make sure it's positive. So like if you're trying to like quit smoking, don't put down, I intend that I'm going to quit smoking, because what you're doing is you're putting the energy and the power into the smoking, and your brain only hears smoking. It doesn't hear the quit part. It's like, oh, you want to smoke? Great.
Here's
Keep on
cigarette.
smoking,
Then you
right?
think about smoking. I am smoke free. I see myself in perfect health without cigarettes. And I did that last year. And, you know, that did that for me. It was you saying, see yourself as not don't smell the smoke. Like, imagine how clean the air is going to smell. Imagine, you know, there's no nicotine on the walls. Every 2 weeks we clean
Yeah.
everything. And it definitely makes a humongous difference.
Yeah, I did it that way when I quit. Like, it'll be 10 years this summer that I quit. And so when I met Vince, and that's what I did too. I was completely cold turkey, but it was all about, and really it was about deciding that I was ready. And that's one of the things that setting intentions helps to do, right? It really puts it out there that, hey, I'm ready to do this thing. Like I know that I deserve this. And that's a big one for a lot of people too. Like feeling like, oh, well, I deserve to feel like shit because I'm a piece of shit. Well, no, you're just making a choice that isn't to your highest and best. You're just not flowing energy in the most life enhancing way. And that was one of the things that my teacher really taught me, is that really our focus is about flowing energy in the most life enhancing way. So when you're writing your intention, make sure that you're keeping that in mind. And look, some of this stuff is going to take practice, right? Like you're not going to like do it one time and be perfect at it. I've been doing some of this stuff for over 20 years and I'm still, definitely a work in progress. I was going to say Big Hot Mess Express, but I really don't want to claim that.
No, you're not a Big Hot Mess Express. What I love about this and why we did intentions this month. So I want to go back to why I chose this. Number one, I worked through it with Carly because she's someone who I trust and respect. And when I'm making these decisions on, especially the magic piece, she, like I said, is my woo-woo guru. So I go to her and say, hey, and January is about resolutions and starting a new year. And we talked it through, and versus goal setting or resolution setting, we talked about intentions.
Yeah.
Because again, it's aligning that energy, and it's not about deciding that some magical day is the day that everything stops. It's more about getting in the inflow and getting in flow with yourself and setting an intention. And that intention, you could set that intention today, 2 weeks ago on the 1st, next week, whatever it may be, or every day get up and have an intention. Just for today, I'm just going to be the best version of myself. Just for today, I'm going to give myself grace, whatever that may be. And that's the idea of the edible, is that when you do get in these patterns of stinking thinking, and when you get into these patterns of not having that energy flow in your best possible way, we get into these patterns. And one of the things that I will forever be grateful for is the next 2 words I'm going to say, because Charlie, that saved my life in so many ways. Pattern, interrupt.
Yep.
And that's what an edible does for me. That's what cannabis does for me. When you feel that overwhelm, that stress, all the racing thoughts, you definitely stop, but being able to pattern interrupt by stopping the process, either taking a gummy or whatever, and intending that you're stopping for a moment. It's the ritual of it. For me, it's flower. I'm going to pack a bowl, sit down, I'm going to light it, I'm going to have that minute. And that's me allowing myself to take a moment and stop. And that's kind of what the idea of this sheet was for you to have a pattern interrupt, right? And to learn to really think about what it is that you're trying to achieve. Because we talk about intentional cooking, and I say, like, I stir in and I say little things I say, but I'm like, whoever's eating this, if they want to sleep tonight, they're going to sleep tonight. And I sing a little sleep song like Rockabye Baby. Or, you know, if it's like, I want you to have giggles, and if it's game night, if the giggles are the end result, because laughter is also a vibrational raising activity. And that's why I love cannabis, because it makes you happy. And so whatever that may be. But Carly and I were talking, I was like, well, how do I make sure that what my intention is aligns with their intention? She's like, I got you. So if you got a Munchie of the Month box, this insert is in there. And I'm sure that if you did not get a box, right, and you would like to learn more about intention setting, I'll be glad to share Carly's links. We'll put them in the chat or somewhere here in the group. And I can also email you this document if you'd like to have it. I'm going to say this, and I want Carly and I to both talk on this topic. So Gina says, Tammy Nelson fixed the knee pain. I did not fix the knee pain. I did not.
Yeah.
I made some caramels that had medicinal properties and magic in them that allowed you to get good rest and to heal yourself through the belief of energy. But I don't want to take credit for anything like that. So I want you to address like how, because I love those compliments and those feedbacks, but how do I communicate that they healed themselves? Because I'm just wondering how
you know, I know, like, when I'm working with clients, that's one of the things that we talk about, like, from the very beginning, is that I'm the facilitator, right? Like, I am, yes, like, people call people like me healers, but it's the person receiving the healing that has to do the work, right? They have to have their intentions aligned, and they have to be in alignment with the soul side of self. And they have to do the subconscious work for it, right? So I flow the energy, but they're the ones doing the healing. So I will never work on somebody who's unwilling, because it's not going to do any good, right? Like it's not going to take. And I can, clear blocks and adjust frequency and, do triangles all day long. But if they're not in alignment with it, it's not going to do any good. And I think that, the beautiful thing about cannabis is that it allows people to pause, to, like you're saying, to sleep, but really to believe that they can heal. Right. And so it's kind of like it's a facilitator, right? And you are a facilitator.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. I love that. Thank you so much for that. Now, someone also commented that they're listening and they're trying to find their place in this. And I love that you're listening, right? That's the first thing, is just listening. And I talked about this yesterday a little bit, that not everything is for everybody. However, I feel like the fact that you're here and you're listening to this, the message that you're supposed to hear will be the message you're supposed to hear. I promise you. I think this is Otis. Hey, Otis, it is. What's up, Otis? And I know that this is the woo-woo part of it, right? This is the intentional part. This is the part that takes this from like Tammy's Pot Shop to Hometown Hippie Elevated Edibles, because it's the part of it that makes it me, really, because this is the piece of this business that sets me apart from, or sets this brand apart from other edible brands, because the energy that goes into the treats is elevated. I promise you, it matters to me. It really, truly matters to me. Like when your treats are like a day late getting to you, it's because the energy wasn't right in my house for me to go in there and put food on the table. And I've told Carly, she's like, are you in the kitchen today? I'm like, no, I am not in a emotional place. I'm not in an energy flow. I don't want to put that in anybody else's house. Now, would the milligrams of that cookie be any different? Would the taste of that cookie be any different in like the grand scheme of like the ingredients going in place? No, it wouldn't. But I promise you, the love that I put into it and the energy that I put in it, I'm telling y'all, that's the magic of those edibles. It's not about the baking of the cookie. It's about the energy that goes into doing it. I promise you.
Here's one way to explain it. If you're like, I'm here and maybe I'm not tracking, or I'm here and maybe I'm not relating super well. You know how like you can be in a totally fine mood, like everything is going great, you're having a perfectly good day. You walk into the grocery store to pick something up for dinner. You walk by this lady, she's like fucking screaming at her kids and she's like angry and she's like yelling at somebody on the phone and instantly you're in a bad mood. I know, like, right? So that's kind of an example of what Tammy's talking about, right? Like we are all, everything is made of energy, which is super cool. There's a book called Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins, which Tammy has learned the vibrational frequency of different emotions. But it's really cool because if you're a little more logical, analytical, and maybe a little interested in this kind of stuff, he does a really good job of kind of balancing the two. But it's really one of the things that helped me kind of believe that I can do the things that I can do because I'm like a huge skeptic, right? Like, and like, am I, am I a charlatan? Like, but what I learned is that no, because number one, you can see the difference that the work that we do makes. But number two, you can actually literally measure energy. And so it does matter. And so if you're like, I don't totally get this, then that's okay. But that might be something that you might be interested in, if it's something that you're, curious about.
And I love that, I read that it was talking about how like energy doesn't ever go away. It just transfers shapes and things like that. So that's why, like, if I'm angry, that energy is not like just disappearing when I'm like, I'm no longer, I don't want to put it into the food. I have to like go outside and let it like blow it away and smudge it away. And
why we taught you grounding.
And for me, it's like, I need edibles today. I don't need to make edibles today. Tammy needs edibles today. It's the day that I have to sit down and do the things to, get myself right. And Heather, I appreciate that. And that's the difference. And if somebody asked me, what's the difference between brand A and Hometown Hippie, I'm going to say the energy. I'm going to say the magic that goes into it. And I'm a self-proclaimed kitchen witch. It's not any more than just like, I love the kitchen and I like wrote a book. I'm like, that's me. That's exactly what I did. And I said that, I think, on a Zoom to Carly, and my husband's like, he comes like, you a witch? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I mean, y'all do it like spell. I was like, calm down. It's not what you think. Calm down. I was like, every night when I cook dinner, I do a magic spell because I put love and all the things into everything that I cook. He's like, okay. I was like, that's why you're not 500 pounds and you eat as much as you do, because I put magic on it. He's like, that works. I use candles for meditation, and my sessions are so much more elevated. Sorry for the pun, but that is the only word to explain it. And that's the word that kept coming through with this, elevated. And I love that. That means it's there. I grounded in the snow the other day due to how I love this. Carly, don't you love seeing all the people who are just love the magic and do the magic? And
yeah. And Sarah, I'm super proud of you too. Sarah's been doing such an amazing job. Like, just from, it's cool. Like, one of the things for me that's super cool is to see you guys as you grow on your journey and see how, I don't know. For me, it's kind of cool to see, like, I see what my teacher saw when I was going through those things. So that's really cool. And it makes me feel like, I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm doing my part as a human.
Well, that's the thing though. As a light worker, that's kind of like the draw. It's kind of, that's talking about gateway drugs, right? It's kind of like an addiction. Like, you want to, like, you tell me all the time, Tammy, it's winter. It's okay. You need to hibernate a little bit. And I know that you want to do more, but it's okay to stop and pause and to fill up your cup and to recharge your energy. And I think that that's what it is for you. You're also like a proud mom, because I mean, you have been working with us just like your teachers are with you. I'm sure they're just very proud of the way in which you take the information and you put it into your life. Because I mean, if anything that you do, like when I make edibles, if I sent them to all of you and they were like, oh, they're in my drawer and you didn't eat them, even though I love all the energy, I would be so disappointed that you didn't do something with the tools that I'm sending and you're paying for. So as a healer, I'm sure that it's nice to be able to see that the work you're doing is going into practice and it's not just a lot of repeating yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a lot of repeating myself. Well, my
trust me, I know. How many times have I told you this? I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to have to hear at least 3 more times. So go ahead and buckle up, Buttercup.
Yep.
Oh, I love that, Gina. I stood in the shower Sunday and pictured in my mind the water was cleansing me and the bad energy going down the drain. That's a great time
Yep,
to
that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
walk it
So
away.
the other, like, one thing that I would offer for that is, as you're doing that, because, you know, since you can't have a void of energy, I would clear out anything that's not serving me, and then also make sure that you're bringing in energy that does serve. So instead of just emptying out, make sure you're filling back up too. But yeah, I love that. And that is it's a natural time, like, to clear your energy, because you're cleaning your body, cleaning your energy. The other thing that I like to do in the shower is I love to do, can I hit the bowl in here? Like, is that a thing for your,
just don't, yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Just don't what?
Like, you can't like puff it on Facebook. You have to like go off and puff it, but you can't smoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll turn off my camera.
Okay. You gotta stop your camera.
Perfect. All right. What were we talking about? Oh, so it's a perfect time to cleanse your energy while you are cleansing your body, right? Mm-hmm. So when you are doing that, make sure that you're adding that in every single day, because then it starts to become more of a habit. And then you're going to find that you're going to notice when your energy feels a little off, and you're going to automatically start to be like, all right, I'm going to clear out this energy that isn't serving me, and I'm going to replace it with energy that is.
I'm going to put, oh, wait a second. I was trying to put the overlay up. I was going to put the overlay so we could both hit it.
I just turned my camera off. You can still hear me, right?
That's easy enough. I'm the only male on here. I don't think you're the only male on here. There's a lot of other males on here, Otis. They just don't comment as often. So what we're going to do... Go ahead.
Does Otis live out there with y'all?
He does.
I feel like I met him when I was like 18 or 20.
Yeah, Otis has been around Farmville for a long time. He used to run Radio Tech. So I'm sure he's been at McAdoo's a ton of times. So if you are watching from Farmville, Carly used to work at McAdoo's when she was here going to Longwood, and that's how I met her. We were restaurant people together. So that is how we knew each other. So I'm sure you know Otis from there. We're going to go ahead and try to give away some free stuff tonight. So let's do this. I'm going to have Carly write a number down between the numbers 1 and 25. Whatever number she wants to pick. And if she has a number written down, you got it down?
It popped up as soon as you said, Carly, write a number. And I was like, all right. Okay.
So we're going to give you guys 30 seconds. You get one guess. So the person that comes closest without going over will win our 15-minute session with Carly. That's and fun. I want to guess now. Can I guess? So on your mark, get set, go. You've got 30 seconds until I come back from the from having an overlay on the screen. Pause for calls. Wait, what am I at?
That's behind the screen.
Overlay. I gotta get an overlay. There we go. Now, and here's the funniest thing. It's going to be like all of our team meetings when you're like, Tammy, we can still hear you.
We can hear everything that's happening there. That's pretty exciting that you guys that you have a website.
Yeah. peaceloveandfeast.com. We will be having some links to that coming up soon. She's working on building that. I'm going to pull this down. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's see.
Here.
All right. So we have 18. Well, let's have a better idea. Is everybody in? I'm going to give y'all one last call. One last call. Okay. Carly, what number did you pick?
The number that I picked is number 16.
So it looks like Otis is going to get a session, and he was here for it. So he definitely deserves it. Right. I think he definitely needs it. I love it.
All right, cool.
Otis, you have a 15-minute session with Carly. I will connect y'all via messenger through me to get that lined up. I'm super excited for that for some reason. Like, I'm overly excited that Otis won. And Otis, I will give you a free brownie to do the session and be like, Cole.
Oh yeah, good idea. That'll make it easier for me to work on
your brownie, and you can have your brownie before the session or after. So congratulations to Otis. I think that's who it was. The only one that said Facebook user. Let me go make sure it's Otis. He's like, what the fuck? I didn't win. How did I win this thing? And here's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying, though. Energy works weird. Like, I feel like you're here tonight, Otis. You're here for it. It's going to be good for you. Yeah, it was Otis. He guessed number 13. Otis, are you here for it? Can I get a whoop whoop in the comments or something? He's just like, I'm getting off the Facebook now.
It's funny.
But I think he'll be good. I just saw him the other day. I had to stop by and drop his stuff off for him. So he was I hadn't seen him in forever. It was nice to see him actually. Okay, guys. So that's what our big giveaway was tonight. I hope y'all are enjoying this. We hope to do more of stuff like this. I know that and I love that Tanya, she was up here and she said this. We're going to talk about one more thing before we go, since we have some people here that might be interested. To use as a psychic medium, I can tell you right now, this is a generous offer. That is 15 minutes of focused on energy to give healing energy or messages. So much appreciation for that offer. And I do appreciate that very much for allowing me to pick up those extra treats like that and those extra prizes. Okay, he's here. He's here for it.
Yeah.
All right, Otis, I'll connect y'all afterwards. Now, what Carly was talking about earlier, she said, can we talk about it here or not? Can we talk about this or not? I think we can, because I think this is a great place for it. And I'm definitely going to share this here. Probably one of the first places to open it up. Carly and I have a tertiary business. We have so many things going. We have so many balls in the air, right? But we have a new
a joint venture.
It's called Creative Healing Collaborative.
Yep.
Right now.
That's subject to change. Everything is always subject to change. It's like being a military spouse, always subject to change.
But we are putting on, and this one is not for you, Otis. This is for the girls. So we are doing our first ever women's retreat. And it's going to be in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Tentatively right now, that's our goal, is where it's going to be. It's where we think it's going to be. And it's going to be the third weekend in October. I think that's the weekend we landed on.
I don't remember.
It's going to be in the fall. And it is going to be hopefully it's going to be on the East Coast. Gina says, I want to go. There will be, hopefully in February, we will open up registrations for that.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit what about that, Carly?
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty excited about this. And this is something that people have been asking for many years. And I've been saying no for many years. But, it's just like everything in life. Like everything happens in divine time, right? Like the universe is unfolding perfectly for us, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it doesn't look like it. So it's probably going to be 15 or 16, I think, guests that we're going to have. We have some really cool content planned, and I've been working within my circle of people that I work with, because in addition to doing my own personal healing work, I do some group work, and we request it off now for sure on dates. Nice. Give us give us like a week to kind of get it together. We just started deployment here, and it was not a smooth transition, but we're getting on the other side of that. And but here's the thing, it's really designed to be for women who are starting their journey, right? It's for women who are wanting to understand basic energy principles and wanting to be better meditators or meditators at all. And we're going to teach you how to trust your intuition and work with that a little bit more. It's a ton of really, I think, super cool content, stuff that like we are super into, and basically stuff that I teach my clients on a one-on-one basis, things that we teach the team really from a very metaphysical perspective. And we have a couple of guest teachers who are interested in joining us. So Tammy's going to be handling the food. She's going to be cooking with magic and cooking high vibrational foods, because that's one of the messages that I've been getting very strongly for myself and for the group of people that I'm working with, is that it's so exciting. Like I'll be honest with you guys. One of the things that held me back was I'm like, who am I to teach a retreat? And then I'm like, shut up. You've been doing this for 20 years. You need to teach. And it was interesting because one of my teachers was like, hey, you know what? You actually have soul contracts with these people, and they're waiting to fulfill these contracts because you need to come out of the closet. And I'm like, ugh. And she's also like, you're a fucking psychic. And she like yelled at me, and I was like, you're right. So, but that's what it takes, right? But no, I think it's going to be really cool, because it's going to be about focusing on your energy and focusing on shifting yourself to your next most appropriate, highest level of vibration. right?
Mhm.
And learning what that means, right? And how to achieve that. And really, my goal is to fill your spiritual toolbox, right? Like, we want to give you tons of resources so you can take that out, because I feel like our job is, or, my job is to be a lighthouse, right? Like, my job is to be a way shower. And it's been really hard for me to step into that. But now that I'm like, okay, I guess I'm ready, or like, that's as ready as I'm going to get, then we're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off, and we're going to do the things afraid. And it's going to be awesome. Like, I am really excited about it.
I am so excited for this retreat, and I'm so excited for I'm so excited for them. Like, I'm so excited because I know that this is where
Yeah.
my journey started, was just these kind of classes. And like Chloe's like, well, what do we teach? Like, where do we go with this? I was like, woo woo 101, because it's very hard to know if you are someone who is like, I didn't know that I'm clairaudient until it took me time to like start understanding the principles of how this all works.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are turned off and we stop our spiritual journey because we don't know if we're doing it right. We don't know if that, like Carly said, the breathing, even just learning how to meditate and how to silence your mind. And I started with this like 5 years ago with guided meditations on YouTube. You told me to check this one out, check that one out.
Yep.
And so, Heather, we are working on dates. We believe it's the third weekend in October. I have the dates written down somewhere.
We've looked at so many different like spots, and the date changed, and like, so we're not super sure. And we both cannabis.
Yeah. So, and we have notes everywhere, and they're on things, and we have note card holders and all the things. So we are getting there. We do have we will say that I believe that, without a doubt, I believed that she says, okay, but I'm definitely in. So Heather, that's fine. What we're probably going to do is, once we get like the date and the definite place, which will probably be the next week or so.
Yeah.
Then we will announce it, and we'll take $100 deposits. What I'm thinking, because I'm doing all the administration, a lot of that part of it for y'all.
So I'm doing like the class content,
Yeah, because she's got a lot of energy stuff to do, where I'm more hospitality, right? Yeah. And so what we're going to probably do is, first 16 people to give us $100. It's a non-refundable $100 deposit. We can set up payment plans, or you can pay, once we have definite dollar amounts. We're going to have an option that's going to be for affordable for everyone. I know that we had some beds that were going to be as low as $600, and we did like hotel rooms at the beach for a weekend with meals, and you couldn't do that without all of this energy workshop that's going to be amazing, and leaving you, feeling like just a different person. And it's amazing. So if you feel like you have energy stuck, if you feel like you would like to learn more about what it is that just to center yourself, to be able to pattern interrupt. And, here's the thing, like, you don't have to go in and have with any kind of intention other than, I'm going to have a very open mind and I want to learn something.
Yeah.
And we're a lot of damn fun too. I mean, we're a whole lot of fun. So
we are good.
We are a whole lot of fun. So, and we also wanted it to be, and something you'll notice about us is that we're very authentic. We put our pants on one leg at a time. And I feel like a lot of these retreats feel very, for the elite. Like, they feel like they're for people who've been doing this forever, and they're silent yoga retreats. And I'm like, I'm not ready for all that, right?
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it affordable. We wanted to make it
accessible,
and we wanted to make it comfortable. And that's what I keep coming to me, is comfortable. We want you to be comfortable, because to move the kind of energy, you have to be comfortable, because you have to be a little vulnerable. I mean, this kind of work makes you very vulnerable, but we want you to feel like you're getting hugged, like you get a big old mama hug. And that's my favorite thing to do, is this big old mama hug. So I love this. Sarah, I love this so much.
Oh, yeah. Sarah's been hanging out with us for a while, and it was cool kind of how it all happened. It was just kind of like, hey, here we are, and then here we are.
Here we are, and there you are.
That's one of those things that you find that, like, as you're kind of in vibrational harmony with the things that you're wanting to create in your life, you find more and more of those synchronicities. You find that, and this is kind of when people are talking about coming from that 5D and moving into that fifth dimension, that's really what they're talking about. And that's what this whole time of planetary change is all about. Like, we're going through, and I know I've told you this before, but we're going through a ring past naught as a planet, right? In my Earth Healing group, that I'm part of, just yesterday, we were working with all of the planets because all the energy of Earth is expanding, and it was creating other challenges with the orbits of other planets. And poor little Pluto, you guys, Pluto's a planet, okay? Like Pluto feels very unloved, but but we, we balanced it all out and made it feel better. But and some of you are like, she sounds super crazy right now, but some of you are like, I'm here for it. And whichever one you are, that's totally okay.
I think the description of this group, they knew what they were getting into.
So, but anyway, we're going through the ring past knot. We're going through this time of uncomfortable expansion, but what it's doing is it's allowing us to change as a whole our vibrational frequency. It's allowing us to up level and move into that fifth dimension. And because we're shifting out of, and you guys have heard this. You guys remember that song from like the 70s, The Age of Aquarius? The Age of Aquarius. Yeah, like, so we're actually shifting out of that Piscean age into the Aquarian age. And what that is the Piscean age is the age of duality. Because if you look at even like the symbol for Pisces, it's the two fish. So that's all about duality. And then the Aquarian age is all about removing that sense of separation and returning to oneness, which is also what we're doing with all the healing work that we're doing on an individual basis. So our ultimate goal with the retreat is to help you remove the sense of separation and return to oneness. So there's the very long esoteric explanation of it.
That's exactly what it is, though. And that's what we want to make sure that it's available. And, this is our first one. It's in October, working this year to get it all ready to go. And then we hope to do them at least twice a year, if not quarterly or 3 times a year. And they'll be moving from location to location because some of you are in the Upper Peninsula. Some of you are in Florida. Some of you are in Virginia. The people are going to be in California and Arizona and all those places. So we want to make sure that the accessibility piece also comes from a travel perspective. And we're not limiting anybody's wallet. If you are in Arizona and you want to come to the Outer Banks and spend a weekend with us,
I mean,
we're for it. We're here for it.
I'm flying out from California.
Yeah, we're here for it, right? We're flying out from California.
Yeah.
And in the group, in the comments here, I did link your private Facebook group.
Okay.
The Creative Zenworks Spirit Circle. Carly does sound baths over there. She's going to have a new membership starting. It's a good place to kind of get to feel her out. If you'd like to book some healing sessions, she does cards, all the things. So I'm going to encourage anybody who's thinking about retreating with us to book maybe just a 30-minute, 20-minute something to kind of just align energy, because I think that's important. And if you decide to come, we'll do some stuff before you get there. Make sure that you have all the things you need to feel comfortable. And I'm going to tell you this, a lot of the room options are going to be shared options. So if you have a BFF, a sister, a mom, an aunt, somebody who you feel could really align with this type of work, and maybe they're not in the group, maybe they're not, wherever, then feel free to, invite them and maybe do it as a sister bonding thing or a best friend thing. But if you want to come by yourself, meet a new roommate, hey, we'll make sure you know each other before you get there. It's all good. We'll take care of you. Any questions anybody has for us at all? Pluto is totally a planet.
Right? Thank you. No, it was so weird. Like, we're in there and we go into this like meditative state to do the work, and like we're in there and I'm like, everything feels good, and like Mars is a little wonky and Saturn was kind of funky, but then poor Pluto just made my heart hurt. Like it's yeah, I was like, oh, I'm just like the little runt or whatever. Like it's like
the little engine that could. I think
nobody wants to run. We're like, we love you, Pluto.
So if everybody could hold some space for Pluto, send some heart energy to Pluto, I would appreciate y'all very much. Let's see, what do we have on the list here? Okay, I got one more thing I need to tell everybody. We have been doing like I said, we are doing the new elevated treats. They're posted in the group. You can grab those. But as promised, every week we are doing our sweet treat. Okay, Gina just joined. We are doing our sweet treat of the week. And this week, I had a request for these specifically. So our sweet treat of the week is going to be strawberry lollipops, 2 for $10. So they will be ready by Wednesday. So if you would like to get some hard candy, I have some hard candy. People like lozenges. On the elevated menu, the gluten-free, dairy-free, we are working on these honey Keith balls that are like lozenges. We have been doing some playing with that. It has some other like edible things that go with it. And we are trying to work out how that's going to be perfect. So we'll see. It's going to be some flavor, a little flavor punch, but it will definitely be a good healer for like sore throats and things like that. So we're working on those things. That is in process right now. I've started phase 1. I got some stuff coming from, one of the supply stores to help me kind of make it happen. So but that is our sweet treat of this week. And then, like I said, if you have asked for other things, they are coming. I'm invoicing slowly but surely. I am but one person. And today was a Monday. And I had that like, I just don't have the energy today. And so I honored that. And I did the things that I felt I was in flow with. And everything else kind of was like, and I'm okay with that. And that's how we're dancing with 2022 this year. Today was a slow dance. We were cheek today.
I feel like I need to slow dance all week.
Oh, I love that. Y'all together are great at this. You both definitely make people feel comfortable, easy to open up to. Love this new journey I am on. Melanie, I am so excited to have you on this journey, and I'm so excited to see you at retreat. I know that you're going to be there. I know you're going to make a way. I think it's going to do a lot of good work for you. And like I said, we're here for it. And we got some other stuff coming this year. We got some podcasts we're working on. We got all kinds of stuff, but right now we're slow dancing with the year.
Yeah, we really are. Like, and it's interesting too, because we are still in winter time. And even though, and this is one of the things that we've talked about, is that January is capitalism's fresh start, right? But January is nature's sleepy time, right? Like on the solstice on the 21st, we go into hibernation mode, and we stay in hibernation mode until that spring equinox. And so one of the things that like I didn't understand until recently is that doesn't mean that you're not doing anything, right? What that means is that like, because when a bear goes into hibernation, it doesn't just sleep. It like wakes up and it eats things and it like does stuff. It's just a lot less of that, right? Like it goes in, it gets really good sleep, it rests really well. And that's the place where the start of the seed is. That's like the fire of life, right? That's going to create the seed. And so then during that winter time, you are growing the seed. And then when spring comes, well, you're not germinating yet. You're making the actual seed.
Oh, you're making the seed. Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to germinate until the springtime, right? Because you don't want it to freeze. Like it doesn't do that out here, but you don't want the seed to freeze. So you don't want it to germinate too early. But you do want to make sure that you put that spark of life into it, hence the intentions, right? That's really what that's about. And putting that spark of life into it creates the seed. So it creates the package of the ideas for the things that are going to grow in the spring.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing with these ideas too, which is
interesting because I love that the fall is harvest time, and we're going to be able to harvest all of our hard work from the year in October with this retreat. And I'm so excited. That sounded really bad. We're not harvesting y'all. That sounded really weird. That sounded really
I don't know what you're cooking in there, but
no, what I'm saying is that we're all the hard work that we're putting into and all the work that we're doing, we're hoping to reap the benefit of the reward. And that comes into play with all of you walking away with that, like, that woosah, that like, this is awesome. I needed this. And it's going to be exciting and it's going to be awesome. And maybe after the spring, we can start doing different dance. Right now, I don't mind the slow dance so much. I'm cheek to cheek. I'm cool with it. I don't know what another fun dance like the hokey pokey by February, by March or something. You're going to put it in, put it out, put it in, put it out. Shake it out. It's a little high energy with the chicken dance.
I don't think I want to do the hokey pokey.
What do you want to do? We want to do a snake? Remember that back in the day?
I'm not a very good dancer. I do better with a jam band, like we're
you're like, that girl.
Ain't nobody gotta have to dance. Yeah.
See, I love a good show, but like I'm one of those people like when it's like really like 15 minutes on the guitar. I've already smoked a joint, gone outside, come back in, and we're playing the same song.
Yeah, I don't know. I love a good jam band, but to be fair, I was doing a lot of hallucinogens, right?
Yeah,
And like that's a totally different experience. Like
it
tripping
is.
on acid to a 15
Well, you
minute
lose
guitar
time with
solo.
that. To me, like a minute feels like a second, and a second feels like an hour. It just the time doesn't make sense.
Because I'm
And
pretty
I'm
sure
sure
they
that's
were
what it
doing
is.
that too. You know, like
Oh yeah.
you can't play guitar that long on weed, I don't think.
You're too thirsty. You're like, I got a cotton mouth. I need a sip of my drink.
Yeah, like versus the we're just real in it because we are tripping real
What day is
hard.
it? Wednesday. Yeah.
Well, like, you know, I remember back when I lived in Farmville, I had this giant tie-dye tapestry, and somebody gave it to me. It might have been John Grant. I don't know. He gave me a bunch of tapestries back in the day, but I remember one time, so it was in this hallway at this house on Appomattox Street, and I had this like flameless candle. It had like a color changing battery in it, and we dropped some acid, and whoever I was doing it with at the time, we just sat there in front of that fucking tapestry for had to have been 8 hours and had the time of our lives. And, you know, so I think that's a different experience. But, you know, that never really leaves you, right? And I think that anybody who has done hallucinogens, it's a whole lot easier for them to open their minds. Like there are ways to do it without tripping, but I just happened to be so fortunate as to start doing acid in high school, you know?
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because people will send me. I've gotten books on psilocybin
Yeah.
and microdosing with mushrooms, and there's a lot of companies that like with vendors and things that I am networking with through different groups, and that's what when I say microdosing, I get sent into these other groups. I'm like, whoa. I do not need MDMA. No, I don't need. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's ecstasy.
Which one? Oh, we did a lot of that back in the day too.
Yeah, and I was like, I've done all this. I'm like,
No.
what are you thinking?
No, but you know, microdosing on psilocybin, and honestly, like I was always a big fan of I always liked acid because it didn't make my stomach hurt like mushrooms did. And
Mushroom always gave me bubble guts. I always pooped on mushrooms. Always.
yeah, I definitely threw them up like every time. And I'm like, I would rather just take acid, you know?
Tripping and pooping is bad.
I don't know if I ever have done that before.
Oh, it's bad. It's like you're like, oh my god, that's the biggest turn. Y'all, I'm sorry if you're here. If you're just 5 people that are here for this story, you're here for this story. It's kind of like the 2-hour guitar solo. It's like this is gonna be the longest turn in the history of turns. It's like I pooped for like 20 minutes. I got up, it was like a little it can't be right, and I thought it was stuck. I was like, is it stuck? What's going on? I didn't even poop, I don't think. I just thought it felt like it was just this weird, how the body buzz changes, and
yeah,
I get the real bad leaks. Like I like get cryy and I'm like laughing. It's just like water is coming out of my face. And I'm also one of those people, I'm probably guessing everybody does this, but back when I was doing those things and they're laughing their faces off, I drink a lot. I drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And I would do like mushrooms or acid and I would drink and I'd be sober. And then as soon as like the high wore off, I was shit can drunk.
I never wanted to drink on that stuff. Like I was pretty good about like not doing those things.
I could just go get a beer. It was like water to me. Like I drink. That's how I drank back then.
Well, I did too, but not when I was doing other drugs, except pills. Then I was definitely drinking.
Well, probably if I was doing other things, I had all that. Y'all, exactly. You said the leaks.
We were a hot fucking mess.
You said the leaks. Exactly what I had. The leaks. Ren had me convinced one night that there was wild asparagus growing up behind the high street.
Yeah.
It was the weekend we were closing the high street and we did a bunch of mushrooms. And I was like, this is my business. Life sucks. I'm going to get ridiculous. And I'm like, that's why I lost my business. I could have been cutting down this wild asparagus versus spending all that money on asparagus.
Oh my God.
And it was bamboo.
That's funny.
It was ridiculous.
Did you try and eat it?
Huh?
Did you try?
Okay. The next day I was like, Mom, did you know we have wild asparagus growing out back? And she's like, what in the hell are you talking about, Tammy? Wild asparagus? She's like, if it's growing just wild, I'm not going to eat it anyhow. I was like, Mom, I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful asparagus you've ever seen. We walk out the next day, I'm like, She's like, how fucked up were you last night? I was like, I don't know. I was like, it still looks like asparagus to me, so probably the same I am right this moment. Can I have
It has not worn off.
I was like, Mom, you ain't gonna believe this.
Oh my God.
That's what my eyes look like.
Yeah, there were plenty of people in Farmville who saw me like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I think I've sat in front of that tapestry before in that apartment because I remember watching shoes dance across the floor. They're going doo doo, doo doo, doo 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 doo, and I'm like, do y'all see that? And they're like, see what? I'm like, the shoes dancing. They're like, no, but you're sitting there going doo doo, doo doo. The shoes were moving. It was so funny.
So, like, do you still catch trails occasionally? Because I definitely.
I've wondered from time to time if that's what it was, and I'm like, nah.
I don't think it ever
Red used to love some acid. The first time I met my husband, he'll tell a story. He was tripping acid and he decided to go for a walkabout in Farmville. He lived with Chris Spate. They were at Chris Spate's house on like Virginia Street behind the post office. He just decided to go for a walkabout and he took a folding chair in case he got tired and he just sat there. Back booth by the front door in McAdoo's. Like the far front booth in the corner.
Yeah.
And I had never met him before, and he comes down and unfolds the chairs at the end of our table. I thought he was like, "Can I help you?" Like, no. And it was crazy. Like that's when he met everybody. Then like we knew, but I didn't know who he was. He had just moved here. But he was high on acid, walking around with a fold-out chair in case he got tired.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's probably like a couple years before you came to Farmville.
Yeah, I got there in 2001.
Yeah, because his was like it was like 96. That was back in the crazy days. I was between Radford and Farmville then.
Okay.
Otis says,
"Oh, you're against trails, right?" Yeah.
Yeah. But as I've gotten older, like the only thing that I do anymore is my cannabis because I'm like an old lady. I like carry my little bubbler pipe, like I'm like a little Sherlock. And I'm gonna tell you another little fun story. The only reason that I have a bowl is because Carly and I have been working together on Zoom so much over quarantine that she's like, "Will you please stop being a fraternity boy and taking bong hits all day? Like, will you go buy a pipe like a grown ass human being?"
I didn't say that.
Will you please go buy a bowl like a grown up? Stop taking.
No way. Are you sure that was me?
100% I said, "Brett, I gotta go buy a bubbler this weekend." He's like, "Well," I said, "Carly said she's trying to see me take fraternity boy bong hits." That big ass bong, it was filthy.
So gross.
Oh my god. Otis says 01 Farmville was lit.
Yeah, so we were having some fun back. I'm pretty sure Otis and I probably partied together at some point. If I saw you, I'd probably recognize you, but I don't know anybody's fucking name from back then. I knew what people drank because I worked at McAdoo's for so long, and I knew what people looked like because we partied together. But I'm pretty sure I know you. Too small of a town not to. But yeah, we were having some fun, right? And I was really grateful that because I was going through a lot of like family stuff and personal traumas and stuff, and that's the real gateway drug, not weed. But I was glad that I was doing all that destructive shit that I was doing in a small town, right? Mm-hmm. Like because if I was somewhere else, I probably would have been dead.
Plus, you're with the right people, so if you did get in any trouble, like they had all the local connections to like have your back, so you were straight. Yep. That's the key.
And somebody always had my back, like people looked out for me so hard in Farmville. Like I loved it there.
That's what I love about being back home. I feel like it's safe.
Yeah.
Like I'm on base, like you're safe.
Yeah, it's like home base. Like home base is good.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about gateway drugs. I was reminded of that. I was like, I told somebody like, "Oh, pot's a gateway drug." I'm like, the only reason pot gatewayed into anything other than pot was because the government made me go to some sketchy person's house who had cocaine.
That's true.
If I could have gone to the convenience store and bought a pack of loud blunts, 100s, probably menthol. It was me.
Yeah, yep.
I would have never ever seen anything else. But I'm over at Homeboy's house buying a quarter bag.
He's like, "Hey, you want some hash?"
And he's like, I'm like, "Sure." And then they're like cutting lines, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to be an asshole."
No. You want some of this?
That's
you want some of that?
The only way that I gatewayed into anything else was because, I was sexy. He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous is what he is.
I was too, but I didn't realize it back then. Like,
Yeah, that's my problem.
look, I was skinny and hot. I wasn't skinny, but I was like skinnier and I was hot. Like I was a cutie. So I should have given myself more credit.
Yeah. I tell you, that's what I tell people all the time. Like, the only reason that that's a gateway is because they want it to be a gateway.
Yeah.
Because they put us in situations to have to be around people who have all of it.
Yeah. Here, have some pills, little girl. Like,
okay. I pick up a bad week, get a really bad head like here, and I'm like, "What's that?" It's like Percocet. I'm like, "Oh, perfect."
Let me have 6 years.
I'm like, if you were in that day and age, also, if I'm going to buy something, I'm probably either coming off of a double or going to a double. Yep. And I knew I was going to hurt at some point, so I'm like, whatever, let me have it all. And it's interesting to see now how I utilize any type of extra, any kind of fun stuff. And for me, like I said, the cannabis has totally become a different relationship, and that comes from changing the way my energy flows. Because at the time, if your energy is flowing like it was flowing with trauma response and hypersexuality for me, and a feeling of not knowing my place in the world because I'm like at this junction in my life and that age where I should be doing this but I'm not, and I was the last one of all my friends to like get married and like settle down, and I'm like, I'm coming home from Radford because I'm 5 years older than you, more than that, 10 years older than you, because I'm 47.
I'm 38
this year.
I'll be 39 years. I'll be 39 this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So like 9 years. So you have to think, like, I was partying like I was your age back then. So I was a 10-year older adult. Like, I was that person's like, at this point in my life, I'm either going to like stay in this scene and just be this person and drink myself to death, or something's going to change. And at that moment, I was living that weird, and that's what the drugs and all the things were, right? They were a way to escape escapism. Yep. It was escapism. And now I'm able to use it for like, it's like the good. Like,
yeah.
Right side. Like,
use your powers for good.
Yeah. I do. And I'm realizing that, that now it's, he said that he's gotten some hot dogs and parbills with you one night.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I used to love those fucking hot dogs.
Death dogs and parbills.
Yeah.
So, and that's what, the difference is. And so when people look at, today somebody commented like, don't you hate what people call pot dope? And I'm like, I grew up at a time when that's what people called it. It was not even I hate it because it's not what it is. But I feel like it's not what you're called, it's what you answer to. And at the point in my life, pot was dope. Alcohol was dope. Whatever was dope. It was doping me down and making me less than. My shine was being dimmed. But that's exactly what I wanted it to do.
Yep.
That was exactly the purpose of it. And when you change your energy flow and you change the way that you feel about you, then anything that you put in your body, on your body, around your body, the people you surround yourself with, that changes. It doesn't change that I'm hanging out with Carly. Charlie and I are still friends. And if we were meant to be friends, when we're doing dope, when we're not doing it, we're supposed to be in your life. And there's people that I don't talk to anymore from that time in my life. And that time in my life, I would have never in a million years believed that person wouldn't be on my couch for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so if you're somebody who maybe is like hearing this and like, oh my gosh, like but we're on the other side of that now. We can look at all of those things that we did.
Well, and like if you look at it from like a shamanistic perspective, the shaman believe that you basically have to go through the mud to become what you're supposed to become. And for me, like that was part of that journey, like that and all of the crappy relationships. Cause I dated like the worst people ever. I dated the most abusive guys I could find. And, we had even so far, like, and I didn't learn the first 3 times. So then I wound up with the ankle breaker and then, like almost died a handful of times and like was doing all this destructive shit. And my mom didn't think I was going to make it to 30. Like it was like a whole thing. Right. But it was a necessary part of the path because you can't become what you need to become if you don't learn the lessons you need to learn. Exactly. And I think they're presented to you gently at first. And then if you're not paying attention, you get smacked upside the head with it. Right. And
like that's 2 months of crying over shadow work.
Right. Or in something that manifests in domestic assault where you literally are broken and cannot get up. Right. Mm-hmm. And
100%.
that was very extreme. And I laugh about it. It took me a long time to be able to laugh about it, but I see it now from a different perspective. But that was the thing that happened that got me on the right path. That was the thing. That was the low point, right? That was the lowest of the low. And then it was digging and crawling back out of it that helped me become the healer that I am now. And
you healed your ankle.
Yeah,
but you healed your ankle.
Yeah. So, and that's a cool story. We'll tell that another time.
It's getting late, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. That people like always kind of give me a little grief about like my history, and I tell people all the time, like I love me,
no regret,
that, and the good, the bad, the ugly, but I'm gonna love you through. I'm gonna I try to let people know like that's the authentic piece of me. That's what this retreat's so important about, is that doesn't make you. Everybody has dumb shit that they've done.
Yeah,
it's about making better choices. It's about getting your energy and flow. If those things are no longer serving you, and I'm not here to judge you. It's not my job. Because if you are happy in your life, then you are happy in your life. It's fine.
Who are we to judge? And
you just heard our stories. I took a shit when I was on acid and thought it took me 3 months and it wasn't even a turn. I'm crazy. I know this. I have no problem with it. I don't judge people, but I also believe in owning it.
Yeah.
Facing it and coming on the other side with the ability to like laugh about it. Because I can tell you right now, 10 years ago, when you no way I would have been upset that we talked about it. I would have been embarrassed because of what people would have thought. Because I know that I was out doing craziness, and I moved away from Farmville because I knew I was going to I had to see it everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Every place that I was like, oh, I passed out there like 3 hours or so. I
put it on that curb. My eye still is not right from it.
I got that scar right over there. And I was not able to, my energy was not in a place. I just wanted to like pretend it didn't happen. Yeah. And I packed all that energy down. And a lot of us do that. And I feel like this retreat's going to really help people to unpack some of the stuff that you just shove down. It'll fit in this bag. It'll fit in this bag, and it'll fit in this bag. And then it makes us have autoimmune. It makes us have chronic migraine. It makes us gain weight. It makes us choose really bad relationships. It makes us stay in jobs that we don't want to stay in for a long time. It makes all of these things kind of come to fruition. And all you have to do is kind of like, I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
But it's more like, let me pull this out. And then it's like, whoa, what is that? That feels uncomfortable now. I need some more. Let me pull that out. Oh, I don't like this either. And then I have to pull this out. And it gets even more uncomfortable. Yep. But at the end of it, you've got all this room for growth. Because you're stuffed full of all that shit. You have nowhere to put anything good. So let's get rid of all that. Ugh. And now you can laugh about it. Because, I mean, even though it was like crazy insane.
We had a lot of fun. But did you die? Almost, but not quite.
Like twice, but they brought me back. I've never that I know of.
Mine wasn't because of drugs. Mine was because of other people.
Yeah.
But that was, I learned that those were situations that I energetically attracted into my life.
Well, mine were always situations like I put myself into because of making bad choices in other parts. It just kind of all culminated to like, why am I in this weird place at 2 a.m.? I don't feel safe.
Oh, I've definitely been there. Whew.
Look at that. I love that. Amen, sister.
So this was fun. This definitely went down this definitely took a rabbit hole we were not planning on.
That's what Hotel Hippie does. That's what we do. We get high and talk about whatever comes up.
Fantastic. I was like, who's over there? It's just the dog. There's the only people who are here are the dogs.
So ladies and gentlemen, Otis messaged me to get your gift receipt to get everything done. We will be back next Monday. I will be back. I don't know if I can get Carly into it. I might be able to. Next Monday for Magic Monday. I'm sure I will see y'all sometime this week with some updates. If you would like to claim a variety pack, please let me know. And let y'all know we will give more information on the retreat as soon as it is available. Promise you. Yep. And on that note, that's going to be it for us tonight. Any last words, Carly, before I go?
See you guys later.
All right, y'all. As always, peace, love, and feast, and stay elevated.